Here is a story about me and Lindsey Vonn, not known also, I should say, as Lindsey Vonn, but otherwise it's Caroline Kildow. Gotta be careful with, I don't go too far with it. I did explain something a little bit about father of Lindsey Vonn. I didn't talk much about the mom, Linda. This was extremely lovable. According to my judgment, is what I realized during MK Ultra. I did not appreciate her enough. Women. Extremely lovable women. Lovable in a sense that Alan and Linda, they would take me on already what I have established secret beach locations and stuff like this with them before Lindsey Vonn was born. Lindsey Vonn, Caroline Kildow. Caroline, I should say. It's all these names are beautiful, but and this has got around her names already. It's a book I could write about. It was a roller coaster, but I was gonna say the first time that she made her public appearance known. But it's not like this. It would be at 4 years of age, 5 years of age. But it's not like this. It was earlier already. Since she was born, Caroline was. I've not seen anything like this, and. It was normal, except that us, all the kids, I would say, at that age, I was different. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I was like that. I don't know. But one time, Alan took me home, and there was a Linda and Caroline right next to Linda, like a little bear cub or something like that. Got her out of the bed, and what was not normal is that I don't know how old she was, but she was old enough to walk. I don't know how soon did she learn to walk. Maybe 2 years of age. If it was not earlier, I almost swear. I don't know. And it was a winter. And most of the kids were not babies, basically. This is almost a baby, basically. Barely walked enough to get herself on her feet, let daddy to dress her up, and ride out on the snow with me. Honestly, I didn't even know how this is going to be possible. I didn't grasp how far this is gonna. It's just these people manage to surprise me on every step. You know, what I'm trying to say is you would expect that she's just going to go out a little bit, something like that, you know, on a fresh air or something like that. No. It was a tough little cup that got herself on a skis uh, and would not complain no matter what. Most of the kids already would complain about the cold weather and shit, especially when he gets you up and he gets you going. I know I was a crybaby. I didn't want any of that shit. The only time I was not a crybaby was during MK Ultra. But other than that, I was really, really comfortable. Maybe part of me fucking hated stress. The stress during MK Ultra was impossible to even measure. I would have mornings bitch cold or hot mornings appearing at a main train station here in Berlin. The torture would take place before, I'm talking like child, baby, before the train would even depart to the hellhole known as Belgrade, toward Josip Broz Tito. And so I know what discomfort is. Maybe MK Ultra, which did have enormous impact on me. Maybe in real life I just wanted to catch all the normality I had no luxury to during MK Ultra. It left trauma on me, severe. And so in the mornings it was not unusual to see me. That's how much of a wimp I was. Or maybe I was exhausted, or maybe I was tired, or I hated cold mornings. Cold like a B word that I already used. Snow. And the worst part was it's bloody 4 o'clock in the morning is when they would take me to the babysitter was a Tatalovich lady, and they would grab me and because I wouldn't go, throw me in a in a winter jacket, and I was like, you would almost have to drag me like this. I wouldn't want even move my legs, honestly. That's what you get. You do have to drag me, literally, to move me from the space. And so it was my sister that would have this difficult task sometimes, that would have to carry me in her arms. I was a big baby. And when you would carry me in the arms, I would be probably like this. Like you would carry a death, like you would carry a corpse. But this is not the case with the Caroline. She was quiet, like, yeah, when they would deliver me to my babysitter, I would go straight sleep again. I don't know, maybe I was exhausted from MK Ultra. Whatever went on, I did not like cold like a bitch winter mornings. Once I would get myself together, I would not go away from the snow. I would go on a snow in the morning. Would that be 7 or 8 o'clock? And I could do skiing and stuff all the way to sundown, even without eating food. I didn't give shit if it was necessary. If I had a friends with me or something like that, we did it until we didn't even fell down. Yeah, kids would go and eat stuff. I would still do stupid stuff. But this is the way it was. But Caroline was unusual quiet child. I mean, as far as myself, she made a presence way before I met her inside of our house, where I met her before. They brought her, Alan and Linda brought her with them, always, of course. But she was here as a newborn, I told you that. Took a big risk and brought her here literally as a newborn. And it's what I was told. Linda got stroke afterwards, upon return to the USA. When skiing with her, I mean, I wasn't skiing. I was just giving a company to Alan. This is just relentless baby child that would get up, and even if it would have fell down and never cried, nothing. You couldn't hear her, nothing. But the craziest part of it was that she, when Alan was, dressing her up and everything, putting the shoes on her and everything, getting her ready and stuff, you could not hear a single word. He quietly took her from the bed from mom, and that one just followed her daddy. I mean, you couldn't hear nothing. I mean, this was like, you understand me now a little bit better. I gave you a little bit background. So, staunch follower of her daddy, Alan, in the most silent, really, baby in the world. To me, on the other hand, in the mornings, maybe I didn't get enough sleep. I have no idea what went on with me, but it was like this, that they literally had to put me socks on me when I was already even 4 years of age, and 5 years of age, and literally had to drag me around, basically, lift me up and put me from one place to another, like on assembly line, to get me going, because I didn't give a F. Anyhow, the first time that she made her presence known, visible, that she made herself world notice her, for one thing, that she loved me. Sort of grew up seeing me. There was nothing so lovable about me. But the first time she made her presence known to a humankind, to Illuminati society, like, hey, I'm here, notice me, and everybody did notice her. Was actually when she was like maybe she was age 5 or 6 years old, when she wanted to marry me. There was times before already when she was like 4 years old, and she was paying like extreme attention to me and looking at me and thinking and thinking and thinking and pondering and asking if I liked her, which was, I think it was a work of her dad, of her father and mom, because in our house here in Novo Mesto, British royals gathered here, together with other royals, with all kinds of royalties from around the world. This was Illuminati home, Illuminati house, both houses. And same was with this house here. I should say, especially this house, where it actually took place. Now, you like child? Yes, of course, I love children. I always love children, sure. But boy, Ellen put in her idea like I was a prince or king. And there you have it, the princess. She became determined that one day she would be my wife. And Linda came to me, Linda came to me and said, she was badly hurt. I might have said that I would not be her husband or something like that. I think it was, whatever it was. And Mom Linda came to me and told me, in a nice way, seated next to me, and told me that her baby would like to, I should get a little favor from me, that her baby feels like this and that and so on. And it would have been really nice if I would make her feel good. And of course, I would do anything to make Linda feel good. And asked me if I could, marry her. And I was, make her feel good. And I did wanted to make her feel good. And this is basically how beautiful Linda, her mom, ended up marrying us first. Her age was I'm not sure if it was 6. After we got married, with most beautiful Linda Crown on picture, her mom, who was completely taken out from emotions. This was just so beautiful. She felt so it was just a really beautiful wife that Alan had. Impossible to describe, really. She noticed Prince William. I'm talking about the Caroline. So now there is a real prince that comes on the picture. That's Prince William. And for a moment I felt relieved. There you go, man. Solution. A solution did not last, because Prince William, I don't know what happened, but I think initially he was even interested. Came to conclusion that that she was already promised to me. And so I didn't take this seriously, man. I really wanted to make her feel good every time. I cared about seeing her happy, Mom happy, Alan happy. They would be very nice to me, thank me. And so the years would go by, And every here and there, we would get married. As I did not understood that stuff, and I was just thinking that we are making her feel good. And, I didn't mind getting married and married and married. So, but at one point in time, I get into a prime age actually to get myself a woman and get married. And the house is now full of this Hollywood actress and all kinds of, I mean actresses and all kinds of, the most models, beautiful women that you can find. And, I find appealing, and, well, every time that I try to make a move, or maybe they were teasing me. I don't know what went on. It's basically a Caroline that and intercepts, and jealousy comes up. And boy, am I looking this thing, and the more I look at this thing went for a while, like maybe even 2 years. I lost women. Who knows what went on, really. They appear like willing to marry me and stuff like this, And I said to myself at one point, fuck, if this is going to go like this, there'll be all the women are getting married with other guys. I'm keep losing brides here. This is going to destroy me. The little girl right there. And I said no. I said no. I said listen. I said no. I cannot be your husband. And that's when the hell broke out. That was a pain, a sorrow, actually, she wouldn't even take for real when I said that, and I had to I became nasty. I became a bad person with her, because I figured out that I have to do something bad for her to leave me alone. Because it's all the women, all the brides, everything, this models. I said to myself, there's never going to be any like this. This is like, well, these females actually gestured me. There is your wife right there. This Hollywood actresses and stuff. And I was like, are you serious? Are you kidding me? That's practically a child. I mean, how is that going to be my wife? I mean, you know what I mean? So this became a matter of life and death. So, well, I don't know what I did. I went out there to deliberately hurt her feelings, which was even worse then. The only thing I can say is Mount Everest of determination follow up on me. A little girl became already champion when she was a small child. She was already champion. She already went on the competitions, and the only thing that would happen is she would collect the medals like I don't know, like you would collect the tree from the fruits from the tree or something like that. She just win every competition, wherever she went. She did not even go on, she just was bringing medals at home. Then at one point in time, they keep bringing me to the US to her. And this started to get, more and more beautiful girl. And at one point, but she was really young, but really pretty, but young. I mean, too young. And she said to me she was buying herself a watches. I don't know, because I don't know so much about the the kind of watches that she was using, but these are really beautiful watches. And it was actually the type of watch that was based on my taste, because it profiled absolutely everything. What is it that I like? But it was for the females, and it was not a real one, because the originals, I don't know, it was really expensive stuff, few thousand whatever dollars or whatever. But that was just that watch that was just replica, just a copy of the real watch, and she had them hidden. She had them hidden. I was like older brother to her. It would take me to pick her up to the school and everything. And she showed me from a drawer. She pulled the watches. There was nobody with us. Had me let her with me, and she started to show me these watches. And she really, really liked those watches. She had a smile all the way up to here. It was like that she had a real watches, whatever. All through, she knew that those are not real watches. She bought them from Chinese, I don't know, flea market, wherever that was, in Minnesota, whatever that was, or Minneapolis or St. Paul, I don't know, her home. And she pulled that from a drawer from in her room. It's she had the watches, and I was like, I knew that she was just a medals collector, and I knew that this girl was just really, really, really extremely, extremely special. I knew that this is going to become, I don't know, a new superstar. Unbeatable. She had something in her that was just very, very incredible stuff. She was just like she was doing a skiing, but the attitude in her was about the same as if you would be looking at a little Mike Tyson or something like that. Seriously. Except that she really liked me. She was, what I'm trying to say, a professional since she was a baby. So she pulls one of those watches out, and he's looking at the watch with like biggest pleasure in front of me. Yeah, it was a conversation about how she bought the watches, how she owns the watches. And she made a remark. Actually, she asked me if I think that she cannot have me like this. Her age that time was probably like, I would even say like 11, and I am 13 years older than she is, so put your numbers together. Then she looked at me and she said to me if I think by any chance that that's not possible. And I looked at her and I said to myself inside of me, I said, holy shit, I said, I wish that would have been possible. I said, I wish that you would buy me like that watch. I said, I wish that you would own me. I wish that I would be yours. Immediately it come to her. She said, no, 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 I didn't mean. I didn't say nothing to her. I told her, no, I don't think so. And she immediately draw that back and was like, nothing happened. Like, no, no, I didn't mean that. Like this. This is the way it was. So along the way, we continue to get married. My life in America was on a dog, but in Slovenia we continued to get married with mom acting as the main priest, and after that initial response that I had, I hurt her feelings. You have no idea that how she cried and everything. This was a girl that whatever she stated, she actually meant this. You just don't, out of this world completely. And so the rest, you already know how it went. Things turned out to be ugly for the two of us. Eventually I pledged that I would wait for her, and as I waited on her, it was uncles like Bill Gates that went on to destroy absolutely everything, sometimes at really her age, I think 13 or something like that, 12. At age 12, they went on and they destroyed everything, all the romantic relationship between me and her. My plan was to actually wait another 5 years till she would be 18, and they destroyed. Actually, I waited and I waited and I waited for her. We had this kind of relationship during MKUltra, and then what they did was they went on and they destroyed everything by injecting in it at age 14 Tiger Woods. That I already explained to you about under the rape video of Lindsey Vonn. Title 1 basically as a rape of Lindsey Vonn. How that stuff played out. But with Tiger Woods on the picture, the marriages still didn't end, and what happened was she kept coming back to me, even during a relationship with other guys. She maintained the relationship with the Tiger Woods until 2017, 2016. On the side, but at the same time she remained in some type of relationship with me. So, how many times we got married in total? I would just say several times. I don't know exact number, but I would say about 5 times. And mom, Linda, and this is what I love the most about these marriages, she always was the lovely priest who acted in these marriages. Yeah. There is a whole lot of more I could tell about this stuff, but I am just gonna end here. So this is basically my story about your super champion Caroline Kildow. Yeah, she probably would be more successful if she wasn't dealing with me and with the Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods made her rethink And my life was also a roller coaster, unlike anyone else's life. That is just impossible to even describe. Even if you had all the information about this case, which I was also told it's 1,000,000 pages, you would not possibly be capable to describe the whole thing. So she remained on the picture. The last time I saw her was that little bitch with a dog. That was on October the 23rd. I saw her on that picture. And I think they took her away from me on October the 20th, whatever it was, I have to see, in 2020. This was all under MK Ultra. I personally did not watch skiing since maybe 1990 or 1988 or something like that. I did not watch that. I lived in Miami, and I didn't even live here in Slovenia. And when I returned back to Slovenia, I had so many problems that I did not even know the snow exists. At one point in time, I bought myself a skis, and I was optimistic about how it's going to be a snow outside, and I'm going to go and ski. And when I went ski, it was a shit snow. There was no snow, barely any snow. And Robert Golob ended up with a Milan Kuchan laughing at me, saying to me that you can walk in these shoes. That's called Panzer. Panzer these are the heavy shoes that you wear on your legs, and you attach skis to it. They told me if you can walk like this, we were watching you. You don't have any kind of problem with the skiing, with your spine. And that was when I came from America in 2006. Is when I bought those skis and stuff. I had money, so that's already how badly my spine was broken already. They broke the spine already in 2006. That also is the stuff that I spoke to you about. They were making fool of me. Yeah, practically they destroyed my life completely. Everything, all the sports, everything that I loved, they destroy you. They rip you apart into pieces, turn you into shreds, basically. Not even shadow of yourself is what you become. And this is the guy that now keeps talking about the political police, which is insane. The guy that I was exposing for so long is now talking about political police. He just recently spoke about how the political police will come and take the telephones and laptops and all kinds of stuff to get the information and stuff like this. This is the animal who actually even enforced theft of my hard drives, theft of computers, everything. They were stealing passwords, absolutely everything. Police, Slovenian police. And through Slovenian police, British Royals, I should say, MI5, and etc., etc., etc. Just the way it is, basically. So this is basically the story. Alan was gonna actually kill me at one point in time because he became convinced that I took his baby away from becoming a British wife of the British prince. So this is how far the knowledge about two between Caroline Kildow and Prince William. And then it was Prince Harry, but that one was the younger, but they were also handsome and so on. It's not true. I actually did support the relationship between Prince William or Prince Harry with her, but that goes basically in continuation. Sometimes it goes into the age 12 or something like this, when they were age 12 or whatever. And I simply um, didn't want to break with her anymore because she created this bond with me that I started to believe, because this is fucking insane. You know, you're gonna have to wait for another 6 years in that case. And I was trying to escape Caroline big time, and I couldn't. And then I sort of gave up. I sort of gave in because this girl was just so into me that I realized that there is something about it. I mean, simply like this, if she is so, I mean, they claimed that she was crazy. She was definitely not crazy. I remember Yanko, I remember all these people here, they were coming on a visit. Um, she's just extremely, extremely special girl in a girly world, innocent as it gets. And I always believed in the people's ideas, no matter how crazy those ideas were. If there was something to it, you know, the world was actually built on these things. And I was a veteran in MK Ultra. Nobody knew about MK Ultra world as much as I did since I was born. And so I was called crazy, and you know, they did insulted her, and then they went on and they started to insult me, sometimes at age 12, 13 and 14, talking about her age. He was violent and tough with me next to the Kirka River. It was Robert Golob, Kuchan, and so on. They went and they marginalized them. They attacked Linda. They attacked Alan. They were using words pedophilia and stuff like this, which have nothing to do with it. And you know, this is just the memories on a beautiful Caroline, which you know, we had a roller coaster. You know, I went through. It's just all kinds of times we have gone through. But she witnessed absolutely everything. She climbed under the skin to Slovenian police completely, and it was nothing that she had not seen. Oh, the Illuminatis came to the conclusion that well, it was the conclusion that was good for them, but they gestured me, like Charles and Andrew and all, they gestured me, we're not going to help you, but we're going to help her, because obviously because I was retarded for them, and I was retarded for them because they were afraid of me. So then when they are afraid of you, then you are retarded. The truth, clearly they didn't want any piece of it. And so basically, so it was. That's where the life went. She continued to maintain this closest relationship with me. She continued to she just never even had a child or anything like this. So That's my Caroline in a nutshell, in a little video like this. Many were guessing what's going on with the Caroline, what's up with the Caroline. Her boyfriends, they knew about this stuff. Tiger Woods knew too much about this stuff. He was rather pretending that he didn't know. And was using her, and foremost he was using me, and he did really some despicable stuff with stuff that he was involved in his earliest childhood, as I explained. And they always do it like this so that the people who come on the picture don't even have idea why the person, like in this case myself, would act toward one like this, which they demonstrate then as a weakness. They pointed at me that I was weak, that something was wrong with me, and so on. And a real loser, like in this case, that it was indifferent with every one of you, is a hero. So this is why MK Ultra is so popular, so wonderful, so adorned to, and it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for elites. Just as simple as this. This is a video because I posted that, I posted about that her mom, Linda, married us. It's still with me, her smile. It's still with me, absolutely everything. The first time when she married us. Linda told later on that, because I started to believe that these are marriages, I just couldn't understand why is it that we keep getting married over and over again. And I asked her this, and I think Alan came to the conclusion that I'm completely retarded or something, because I couldn't understand what is going on with this. And she told me these are rehearsals for the real marriage. Linda was cracking herself when she was around me. She had a blessed, I have a lot of beautiful memories on Linda, and I don't want to know about any bad memories. This is just extremely, extremely beautiful mom. Linda Cron was just what I mean on the inside, just extremely, extremely, extremely she had this personality in her that was just I just adored her personality. It was just she had a stroke the first time when she brought her, and then what they did is, I think they manipulated the dates and stuff like this. Alan told me that he would not admit and this and that and that kind of stuff. She came with George W. Bush. They came the first time when she gave the birth to Lindsey. One of those ghost flights, basically, when passengers don't exist, or I don't know how they do that, but they actually come for a visit. Definitely George Bush officially did not exist in Yugoslavia visiting our house. This is definitely fact. Yet he was a regular guest. One of the closest people to me was George Bush, and even closer than George Bush was his father, Senior, which is this was like my MK Ultra father or something like that. This is just guy who just couldn't do without me. I mean, anything. Richard Nixon. These guys were like children, really. Adults that were almost like children. Man, I swear I was more mature than they were. They were more childish. The only one that was adult and acted as an adult was probably Clint Eastwood. He was he looked like a manly boy, like a manly guy, and he wanted to see me like a manly boy, even when I was a baby, a child. He didn't want to give me impression like, yeah, his personality with the children, I don't think he was only with me like this, but he was growing up a real man in already a small children. I sure loved him. Anyhow, there was a whole lot of Hollywood in me when I was a baby and child and so on. This is just it's like as if Hollywood gave birth to the child or something, as if they had their own child, and they did. I was their child. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. No, I am not crazy. No. This type of statement that I have made about how I got married to Lindsey, these are kind of statements that psychiatrists and police, they were like, any statement like this that I didn't even make, but they intimidated with these things. If you would say anything like this or anything like that, they literally took me to Las Vegas when they threw me into a psychiatric hospital in Bianapoli in 2012. Imagine, man. They were teaching me to go, when I go back to the psychiatric hospital, when they already had me inside of the psychiatric hospital, they were teaching me to tell them, and they were asking me, provocating me, inside of the psychiatric hospital about, they gave you like, it's like you would program somebody into something. It's what it is. Not computer software, but program a human being. Like, I'm going to say to you something about Arizona, and that's your chance for you to say to me that you were with me yesterday in Arizona, in Las Vegas, in that sense. And of course, if you say that, that's what they don't tell you, of course. You stay inside of that psychiatric hospital probably for the rest of your life. This is extremely dangerous stuff. And the trust given to the wrong people will kill you. But the Lindsey Vonn is just the right kind of wife I have chosen when I promised myself to her. She stick to her promises all the way to the end. Now it's 2026. All right, so there is nothing that Lindsey Vonn did not saw. Everything that I mentioned on the blog is what Lindsey Vonn practically saw it. Everything that I stated in the blog is what Lindsey Vonn saw it. Almost everything. The police believed that I would escape with the Lindsey Vonn to United States of America. Lindsey Vonn was extremely preoccupied with, they rehearsed murder of the father time and again. Police. And every time Lindsey Vonn would simply take me to, I don't know where she was taking me, man. Miami Beach, I mean, Fort Lauderdale, some hot place, I mean, with boats and stuff. And she had me everywhere. She had me on all her destinations. Wherever she went, she had me. Everywhere she always had me next to her, wherever she went, even when she was with the boyfriends, which was very awkward, but yeah. Everything that I mentioned in almost on the blog, don't know how much she didn't know about the complete heart failure issues. Partially her parents knew it, but the physicians from hospital in Ljubljana did not believe that the type of the heart failures that I had when I was a young man, 1988, 1991, 1992, I have complete heart failures. They did not believe that heart can actually readjust itself and continue to work normally. Then they started to guess on how many times the heart can do this before you have arrhythmia, before you have other kind of problems, and I never had arrhythmia apparently. So remember when I told you on the blog that the stronger you are, even physically, the more fucked up this whole thing is. This is just a matter of literally assassination attempts, 1,000 assassination attempts they exercise against you. If your body, how much it will survive, and how much pressure those will make on the so-called observers. I should say participants. Would it be enough for them to stop these animals here from Slovenia or not? Or would it take another one, and how many your body can still handle before you fell apart? These are beasts. Beasts, nothing humane in them. Lindsey Vonn was one of the first to wear this kind of devices like the smartwatches have. Literally through this case. She started to wear these devices like in 1998. It was actually even a secret back then. And that's supposed to give her also advantage in trainings and stuff like this. She knows absolutely everything. Then we end up inside of this room here. The smartwatches, they came out in 2003. I remember because of the physicians, because of the doctors, cardiologists, surgeons in Ljubljana. And I know you see her all the time with a regular watch, the type of watch that has 3 circles. That was the type of watch that I always was crazy about when I was a child. She had this kind of watches, whatever watches. Got contracts through these Illuminatis that were involved in this. She did fairly good. Ended up driving Range Rover British and all kinds of stuff like that. She is wearing, I think, Apple Watch smartwatch, which battery lasts longer, I don't know, 3 to 6 months or whatever, and she insisted me to buy a smartwatch for myself, even if you have to charge one every second day, whatever. But it was the Slovenian police and Slovenian judges who demanded for me not to buy one, as it would have been seen as a expenditure of a big due to other watches that I would buy. Never mind, they were sabotaging me watches. Whenever those watches would come, they were scratched and used, fucked up watches that were already involved in MK Ultra, which they would be brought from China by the Chinese, given to me, actually through the police during MK Ultra, which would be using them, and once they would be fucked up or whatever, still good enough, in a good enough shape to sell it, they would take them back to China, put them into a warehouse where they had a warehouse dedicated to my orders, and whenever I would order anything from whatever was involved in MK Ultra, boom, and it would be the same thing that would come from China to Slovenia. So that's the kind of stuff. This stuff was evaluated by the judges, by all kinds of people who figure out, yeah, it's probably very uncomfortable for for my wife Lindsey, but there's absolutely nothing about Lindsey that would have been wrong with a Lindsey. And they also confirmed for me that I have not committed anything wrong either. Lindsey would have been a champion one way or the other, because the self-determination that she has, that is inside of her, she always was a champion. She was collecting the medals when she was 6-7 years of age. She collected the medals, real medals. She would done away with it competition that was few years older than herself. When they would go in the competitions, she would compete already with kids older than her and stuff like this, and bring the medals and stuff. She was completely unstoppable. Was a child already. She was merciless. Wherever they took her, the father, where they took her to, she was just collecting the medals throughout the US. Wherever there would be competition, the only thing Alan did was he loaded her in the car and took her, and it was medals. And then I told you about maybe I didn't even told you about this stuff, how the Germans met her in talking about the German presidents and politicians and so on, and became crazy about her when she was also a child, when she was also 6-7 years old, in Switzerland, in Austria, I should say. Austria was the main one. They became major sponsors for her because of this case. Well, I mean, every Swiss, they don't have the presidents, they have the representatives as the presidents acting like, because they have these cantons, different cantons, and so they get their representatives. Switzerland, that was like, I think they change it like every 2 years. Their, let's just say, presidents. It was a normal ritual to have me during their nomination alongside, next to them, and so on. This was just basically Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. This was just, it couldn't be anything without my presence over there. It couldn't be anything, nothing actually went on without me being there, literally. Always, always, always with them everywhere. And so, that much more, I really, really lost it when, I told you, million proofs taken out of this house and out of the other house. If we take just these two houses about the stuff that went on, taken to Britain, to America, and zero ever kind of proofs, with police, Slovenian police laughing at me and saying to me, and the next time, please have your own video recorder, your own, I don't know how I say that, filmer, the guy that is filming the stuff, whatever. Yeah, get yourself your own. I don't know how you say that. The person that is recording people, what is it? I mean, it doesn't come to me right now. This is like, how can I say? Very difficult when your life depends on, and you're going through hell and you are exposed to this type of elements. It can be really, really challenging. And so going through all this and have some Donald Trump laughing at me, it's not very pleasant. And it wasn't only Donald Trump, it was a whole bunch of them. Joe Biden made few idiotic statements. Or through Joe Biden was not even remotely as near as idiotic as Donald Trump. Literally landing on the level of Barack Obama. That's just a tragedy to do this to somebody like myself. Disgusting. With, let's say, Bill Clinton, who knew extremely well my timeline, my life story, and went on to cover up what never should have taken place anymore with stuff that had nothing to do with me and so on. So basically completely changing the narrative of reality pertaining to this story on behalf of British royals and so on. They would just not, this is actually, I heard about this Joseph Fritzl stuff in Austria. I read about that stuff, but this is worse in my opinion, because you do to individual, that individual cannot, yes, I have proven this somehow, some way, but it is the type of torture that is based on your ability to prove it. Yeah, because they don't want to help you out despite everything you have done for them. You see how difficult is this? I mean, should you be proving the stuff when you do stuff for the people, and what, in the end you go and you love the guy, you cancerize him, you poison him, you do the stuff to him, break his spine, and then in the end you advise him that he should have his own filmographers, or I don't know how you say that's how it should be. I mean, you see how difficult, how insane this shit is? You pose with a political agenda and the guys watching you knowing that everything was done through their homes, inside their homes, with Central Intelligence Agency bugging you before they send you to the jungle, to the jungle, to the narco traffickers, to stuff that no life human crossed other than mafia, basically, and things like this. You see how difficult this shit is, and you still don't exist and stuff like that. I read stories a little bit about Pablo Escobar and stuff, George Bush Sr., how he disowned me, who was a complete nobody, but whom I cherished so much based on his ethnicity, based on his heritage. I mean, I don't know how you guys can be so disgusting, honestly. A guy without whom no protest at the Berlin Wall would ever go on. Without his presence, myself. The guy who was used to literally systematically disarm Russian mentality on a border between DDR and Western Germany, and who could get bullet at any fucking time or be killed over there at it on any convenience, loaded in the car by the police and driven to DDR, to Germany, and doing all kinds of stuff like this, and in the end you're fucking nobody like this, really. You pretend to see nothing, hear nothing, know nothing, with a million proofs inside of your archives and stuff like this. I don't know how you can talk about the Epstein. I don't even know how you can talk about Joseph Fritzl. Joseph Fritzl had this kind of attitude. He also did not know and see and nothing. Nothing. He lived like a normal guy. So, but this is your mirror. This is your fucking mirror, guys. Look at yourself in the mirror. You think you're smart? You think you're posing in front of the camera like somebody that is... I don't want to go about this stuff. This is about Lindsey Vonn. Me and Lindsey Vonn. Oftentimes I didn't even know it was me anywhere in the picture because it was so tough, this whole thing. So it was real, the stuff that I wrote about. I did not play with it. I wasn't playing with it. So, this must have been about 3 days earlier, is where I was taken from. It might have been the last MK Ultra, that last time that I saw her, and then written in Slovenia on October the 30th, 2020. And I remember when her father, Alan, told me this was October the 23rd, 2020, that she will still go back. So that then this must have happened, and maybe on October the 20th that she had me still with her. And she posed basically for exactly the same thing that when she had me with her, or it might have been even that they had me over there. I don't know. So that this is the way this stuff was done. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was interesting for me. I give you a little impressions, so through all the impressions it's impossible, of course, to give. She was involved in this before she was born. She was involved in this. Literally, the two parents told me they're gonna make a baby for me. The two parents, I adhere to both parents. The two parents when Mom Linda brought her for the first time from United States of America, a little thing in her arms, she was asking me if I want her. Literally like this. She was asking me if I want her. And just looking at Linda and looking at her dad, Alan, I should say Linda and her husband, Alan, I was absolutely positive that yes, this is the truth. This is the way this stuff was. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Think about whatever you want to think about. They went on to intimidate Alan with the pedophilia issues. And now I also understand why the Serbs, Slovenes started to intimidate me with the pedophilia issues, as Kildows would continue to return. They would return back and they would go camping here and take me with them. And it was so embarrassing, so difficult because of this type of society that we have here. They literally would go into face of Alan and and my face and talk that I'm pedophile and Alan that is a pedophile and stuff like that. So this is basically the way this stuff was. The way Slovenian communists, Milan Kučan and Serbs who controlled this country. Imagine my own aunt from Austria was marginalized, they went on to harass my parents because of my mom's sister that would want to come here for a visit, that we are associating with the Germans and stuff like this. Beyond sick shit. Sick people that did not have nothing common with the reality. They were just they couldn't stand for anybody in Slovenia to associate with the people from outside of Yugoslavia, Western people, because they were so obsessed with control. Anyhow, Alan definitely saw it more than... He saw it all. I can say that, well, completely everything, don't know about, but he saw a lot. So, thanks for watching this video. Alright, you have seen this on this channel here. My name is Bastian Auser, as you know, Boštjan Ausec. Yeah. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time. I am not her husband. I am completely aware that I am not her husband. She is free to do as pleased with her life. I told her that when I met her first on the internet. When we started to chat, I told her that she doesn't have to because of me. She is not obligated. She is free to do as she likes to do with her life. However, this entirely depends on her. If she feels that I am her husband, then I am her husband. Period. I will go directly back to 2000. I think that we gave ourselves a promise in 2011 to each other with the Lindsey here in this parcel here in when she was 11 years old. I don't know what I'm talking about. When she was 11 years old, the two of us gave each other promise. She was the one took me to the river and give me the promise and this and that, and I gave her the promise. Apparently when she was 11 years of age, who knows, maybe even 10 years of age, well, I was 23, 24 years old. I was already in the USA, or was just about to go to the USA. So because she doesn't have a child, because she remained in this case all the way, I have no knowing what's going on with my little girl. So I keep this option open for her. Depends on her entirely. There was also people who Tiger Woods, for instance, who went on to suggest that if he criticized her for seeing herself in me, and even threatened her that if he would notice her seeing herself in me, that this would be a mental illness and so on. And he had his goons and ladies involved in this who were doing exactly the same type of intimidation stuff. Yes, this is also the stuff, and she is facing with her back the camera, which is something she even warned me about, doing the stuff like this, but I do it with all the love I can to make sure that she stays safe, out of reach to the lunatics, with exactly zero bad intention for her. That's all I wanted to say for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for watching a video about my little girl, Lindsey Caroline Vonn Kildow. It is scary how certain people were willing, how far you were willing to go to hurt as much as possible, to create a division, even within family members. Forget about me on the picture. I'm talking here to Barack Obama and Tiger Woods and a whole bunch of you. Just to get your political agenda going. It is scary when I consider all your speeches about equality and portraying yourself as victims of racial discrimination, the weaker one in respect to equality, who suffer misfortune and racial prejudice and etc., etc. I am truly when considering, and Caroline did go to investigate the stuff that went on with me, but at a much later stage than Tiger Woods did not investigate. Tiger Woods was creating a setups all over the place with Barack Obama, with people I have spoken about, to portray me as mentally ill, to portray themselves as worthy, as trustworthy, as worthy, as capable, as intelligent, as strong, and etc., etc. Victims. It is incredible what you preach to the people and the reality about you, because it's got nothing to do with you, stuff that you speak. You position yourself in a role of the victim, that's basically of myself, whom you study, how he is upright, how he acts in self-defense, standing up tall and straight in the face of your black racism, prejudice, unlimited, and supported by the Jews, by the Slovenian communists, by the Russian communists, entire Eastern Bloc, refuses to go down in front of you, whether that be in the United States of America or here in his homeland. And the stuff that you do to the victim is what you claim is other do to you. You are a truly case, you, whom I have encountered in this MK Ultra, you are truly a case for the forensic psychiatry. You know what the forensic psychiatry is? You are a real nutcases. You are truly criminally insane. This is my testimony about you. You go ahead and portray yourself whatever you want, whichever way you want. But that's basically the way I will continue to see you for the rest of my life. It doesn't matter whether you hurt whoever you hurt, what you do, the damage that you do. What matters is basically that you get your political agenda going. And the best part about you is just like in a poisoning. The biggest damage you do when it's a child, when it's a baby. The biggest damage that you have done is when I was a baby and when I was a child. Talking about the racial fascism. This isn't genocide, extermination procedure. The biggest damage that you blacks have done to me was literally before I reached the age 14. Then what you do is you create setups that will make you look normal, and you create other people whom you are destroying along the way as mentally ill. All through I was so strong, in other words, there was so little of any kind of mental illness present in me that would be visible, that you would use to prove your case, that you were forced, whether you like it or not, to continue with your racial violence against me. That's a strength, that's a power, the ability to push you right out on a broad daylight for the whole world to see you. Basically to pull that mask from you so that people can see who you really are. I know that Lindsey is gonna maybe even resent me this part, but it's important for me.